Listen, have you ever wished you could go back and do it all over again? I have. Today in this podcast, I'm going to tell you all the things that I would do different, what I would keep the same, and I'm going to give you my secrets for how I would build a business if I was starting all over again from the ground up. If no one knew me, I had no contacts, no nothing. Listen in, let's go. Welcome to the Clinical Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm Rhonda, your no fluff, tell it like it is business bestie for wellness practitioners just like you who want to build a practice you love and make a bigger impact and a little money while you're at it. So if you're ready to ditch the overwhelm, attract your dream, ideal patients, and finally run your practice with complete confidence, you're in the right place. Each week, we're tackling things from programs to patient retention to marketing strategies that actually work, sprinkled, of course, with a little sass, a lot of heart, and the step-by-step strategies that will help you get there. So grab your cup of coffee, your notebook, or whatever keeps you going, and let's build a practice you love and a life you love together. Well, hello, welcome back to the podcast. I have kind of a funny story to tell you. I'm going to tell on myself. So I recorded this podcast, a week ago, I think. And I was so excited. I got 2 podcasts recorded back to back because I like to batch them out a little bit. And I work about a month or so. I like to work a month or so ahead. So I do these podcasts and I'm so proud of myself. I'm checking things off my list like crazy. And as a doer person, that makes me super happy. So I'm super happy. And so my staff, they come in and they download the episode out of the software that we use and everything's fine. So I think, and then they tell me that there was no sound. And I was so mad because I thought I do not have time to redo this again. And by the time I, review my notes and get my attitude right and get my headspace right, I got to show up for you, right? And I was just so mad. I didn't even respond when they told me the audio didn't record for one full podcast and it only started halfway in on the other one. So I was mad. I was just so mad. So I just ignored the whole thing. You know how you do? You get irritated about something. And so I tell you, God is funny and not funny all at the same time sometimes. So today, I'm sitting down, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it, even though I'm mad. It's not that I don't want to be with you guys. It's just that I'm irritated with the technology because I just don't have time. So I start the recording and my podcast editors, he listens to the video or the audio after I'm done recording, of course. And I just said, okay, I have got to get my attitude right. I got to get my headspace right before I do this podcast today, because otherwise I'm going to show up and be really grumpy with you. And we got a great topic to talk about. And so I say, okay, I take a couple big breaths. I'm like, okay, I'm good. Let's go. And I look at my notes, which I have not looked at now for a week because I already recorded it once. And I look at my notes and the very first thing of my notes says, before I do anything, I need to get my head right. Oh my gosh. So there you go. I think I got my head right. I just needed to confess my sin, I think, because it was not really a sin, but I just needed to confess because I was kind of grumpy about this whole thing. Golly. Okay. So we're going to say that the tech is going to work great today, but I do have a great topic for you. We're going to talk about what I would have done differently had I known what I know now. I mean, isn't that the truth? Hindsight's always 20/20, right? And so if I had known then what I know now, and I have to say, full disclosure, our world today is different than it was 20 plus years ago. Back when I started, it was just word of mouth. There was, we barely had cell phones. That was back in the day. And so it was so different. Social media wasn't social media. Couldn't run even ads. It was, we still were kind of brick and mortar and boots on the ground. There was a great book at the time called Guerrilla Marketing. And I remember reading that book thinking, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It was the first person that ever really wrote a book on marketing. And it's way outdated now, but that was kind of back in the Wild Wild West. So I'm kind of filtering what I'm going to tell you based on what I know, but also if I was me and I was my age and I was starting over at 5, 38, 40, because that's when I started my practice, this is what I would have done different. The first thing I would have done is I would have changed my mindset, which is so apropos for today, given the fact that I was really grumpy about 15 minutes ago. But I'm not now because I'm hanging out with you, so I'm fine. But I think that when I was thinking about this and writing out these notes for you, I thought, all right, what would I want to tell my younger self? What would I say to my younger self? First of all, I would say, I mean, for some of you, this is going to feel kind of weird or it might sound a little funny, but I would start off in the beginning by telling myself that I'm building a business. I'm not just seeing patients. That's what I would have done. Because as a practitioner, as a kind-hearted soul like we are, we want to give away the farm. We want to give away all the things. We want to help people. I'm going to give you a discount. I'll treat you for free. It never works. Tell me one time when that's worked. I'll wait. You can email me and you tell me a time that has worked out for you, where the patient has really, really, really just given it their 100% all when you've done all the free work. I'll wait. I'll wait. I will wait. It never happens ever. And so I wish that I would have gone in with that mindset that I'm building a business. I'm not just seeing patients, because that shift all by itself would have changed the way that I made decisions. I would have hired from inside a framework of hiring as a business owner rather than just going, oh yeah, you're nice. You'll be fine. And it never works out. And oh my gosh, I made some of the worst hiring decisions and I fired people really bad. I did it one time via text message from a truck stop. Like bad. I wish I had gone back. I could do it all over again. The second mindset that I would have wanted to change for me would have been to not wait till it's perfect. Done is better than perfect. I wasted so much time in the beginning trying to make everything just so and make sure that the protocols were right and my office was right and all the things. I wish that I would have just hit the go button sooner. I kind of moused around a little bit just thinking, well, it has to be just right and everything has to be just so. No, no, no. It doesn't. I mean, this many years later, it really doesn't, because I have a lot of things that aren't right and I'm still doing fine. Thank you very much. Third mindset was to understand that I really can't help everyone and therefore I don't need to try so hard, because it's okay for me to have a boundary that says, I don't think I'm your person. I don't think I am the best one to help you. I think that we need to find someone else that can help you. In the early days, I was so desperate for patients and desperate. Oh, that's another, I could add that one to my list too. Like being desperate never, ever, ever fixes anything for anyone. But I was just wanted to help. I wanted to help. I wasn't leading like a business owner. I was leading like I just want to help everybody. And there were a lot of people that I got in those early years that I had no business. Either I was way out over my ski tips, or they just weren't a good personality fit and it ends up blown up in your face. It never ever works. So I wish I would have known. I would have been better about knowing that I can't help everyone and it's okay to say no and that I don't need to. Mindset number 4 is that my price reflects my value, not my insecurity. Your price should reflect your value, not your insecurity. I cannot tell you how many hundreds of practitioners over the years, maybe thousands, I don't even know, so many, have said to me, well, I'm not quite ready and I just need to learn a few more things and then I'll start. Or, well, I'm not as good as so-and-so, so I can't price. I'm going to go low ball. I'm going to call bull on that. Your price reflects the value that you give, not your insecurity. And so when we come to this place of leading a business as a practitioner, I'm all in my feels. I'm in my feels about everything. And I'm thinking, well, then, if I only have this one thing that I'm going to do, or this one more training I'm going to take, or if I just have this one more certification, it's all ego. It's 100% ego. Listen, if you know more than they do, then that automatically makes you the smartest guy in the room. And I can guarantee you know more than they do. So let your price reflect your value, not your ego. I'm saying it to all y'all. I wish I had I wish I had understood it. Lastly, speed matters. I wrote that down because I wish that I had taken action faster, because I was dinking around with trying to make everything perfect and worrying about what everybody think. Trying to go get those patients and I was focused on all the wrong things. I didn't have to make it perfect and I don't have to do it so fast that I'm not doing a good job. But every day that I spend fiddle farting around, not doing what I need to be doing to grow my business, that's one day less that I'm not making enough money. I'm not serving the people that I want to serve, and my soul is not happy. So in that case, like, get up, get moving, get going, girl. Don't just sit back and wait until your whole world just has to be kumbaya. No, we do not do that. That's not how it rolls. So I would have built the practice like my way. I would have built it on my terms. First, I would have been very clear, much more clear about who I was serving. Now, for those you old timers that have been around for a while, you know that we used to all be here with Michael Dobbins, and you youngins aren't going to know who this is, but I've got plenty of old people like me hanging around. You know, we hung out with like Janet Lang and Michael Dobbins and all those great people that we all looked up to so much. You know, Janet Lang was the reason that I am doing what I do. She's literally the reason that I'm here, that I have this podcast. I owe so much gratitude to her. But I also know that if I fell into my niche early on, and so I am grateful for that. It was like female hormones and women and mothers, and I just kind of plopped right into it. I'm so thankful that that happened, because I don't know what would have happened if I would have been wishy-washy. I'm going to help everybody, because you can't help everyone. You have to decide who you're going to fix. Now with all of the AI, it makes it so much faster to get your systems done, to create an offer, to, connect with the right people, to kind of figure out your marketing strategy. Like, I didn't have any of that when I started over. So that's definitely what I would do. Like, I would say today, if you're not leveraging the AI, then you're going to fall behind. And so you got to figure that out. You have to figure that out. In Clinical Business Academy, we talk about it all the time. How to use it to create an offer, how to use it to get really good email copy, not crappy copy, but good email copy. How to write. There's one of the CBA members, and she just created her first book, and it's amazing. I've not read it, but the title and the contents, I've seen the table of contents. I'm like, girl, you and Claude just hit on a winner. I've never seen a book like it. It was great. And it was all because of AI. So I would definitely lean into that a lot more in the beginning now. I didn't then because I didn't have it, but I would have. I would have also gotten out and I would have met more people. Now, I was in a fairly small town in Northern California, been there for a long time. So I knew a lot of people, but there were still other relationships I could have formed, like the guy who owned the local health food store. I could have gone in, and I kind of knew who he was and he kind of knew who I was, but I should have been in there all the time, like teaching and speaking and getting, meeting with people and hosting a free event for them. Or I should have done more of that. I didn't do that because I was just so worried about it being perfect and I didn't know enough. And what if I didn't know enough? And so that slowed me down. So I wish that I would have done that. Another thing that I would do is I would focus hard on getting more testimonials. You need people talking about you. That's all. You've got to get people talking about you. And all it takes really is just sending them your Google My Business link. And if you don't have a brick and mortar, so you don't have a GMB listing, send them your Facebook link and just say, hey, would you share your experience? It would mean the world to me. I would really appreciate it. It helps me get the word out there so that I can help more people. And everybody, if they're happy with you, they're going to love to do that. Now, today, this is what I would do if I had to start over. I would focus on getting those testimonials. It would be a non-negotiable for me because it's such a strong trust signal with Google. Once I had kind of all of that in place, like I know my niche, I'm built for speed. I've got AI. I'm getting testimonials. I know who I'm talking to. I've got my marketing plan, all of that with AI. Then I would create an offer. And I would create an offer that is something that someone can say yes to really easily. Meaning, like I just talked to a practitioner, was probably, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And I talked to him and he said, yeah, he goes, well, no one's signing up. No one's wanting to work with me. And I said, it's not because you're not great at what you do, but what might the reason be? Tell me how it is that you're talking about it. What is your offer? What are you doing? And he said, I have this really great comprehensive wellness package and it's $35. I said, okay. And so how many yeses have you had on that? He said, none. And I don't understand why, because he couldn't see the forest for the trees because he's right in the middle of it all, hooked up with the motion of the whole thing. Well, from the outside looking in, I'm like, I wouldn't pay $3,500 for that. No dang way. I don't even know you. You could be a wackadoo. I don't even know you. And so we talked about that. I kind of walked through the process with him and I said, look, you can't just decide that you're going to, go out there and offer a $3,500 something or other. And then What about what? What is it for?" And he said, "Well, it's just wellness." I said, "But what's the problem you're solving?" He goes, "Well, I'm helping them see what their health is." I said, "I don't wake up in the morning and go down to the auto repair shop just to see how my car's working. I only go when what? I have a problem and I need them to solve it. And then I'm curiously interested about what's going on because I have a problem. But I'm not looking under my car or under the hood. I'm not when it's all fine. I think it's fine. It might not be fine, but I don't know it's not fine because I don't have a problem. We have to wait, find the problem, and then create the offer. So I think sometimes practitioners get ahead of themselves and they think about the offer first. I think you have to have some of these building block components in place before you build the offer. And then it has to be something that someone wants, not a $3,500 wellness evaluation because they don't want it. They don't care. They don't want it. They're not interested. So here's what I would avoid. I kind of told you already, but I definitely would not wait until everything's perfect. I would just not do that. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes I made early on. I wouldn't try and just learn one more thing. I wouldn't try that. I mean, back in the day, I didn't know anything. I knew, you graduate and I had 2 degrees and you think you know everything. And then in real life happens and you're like, oh boy, I don't know anything. And I thought I was all, sassy stuff and I was not sassy and stuff. And so I think I thought I needed to learn more. But what I did realize is that all I needed around me were people that knew more than me because I could ask them. So there was one woman who we kind of, traveled around together with Janet Lang back in the day. This is like in 2006 or 7 or 8 or something. And I met with her about once a month, maybe once every 3 weeks. And I would save up all my female hormone panel tests from diagnostics. And I would go over them with her one at a time. And we would go over one and she would teach me. And then we'd go over another one because it looked a little different and she would teach me. And we would go over another one and she would teach me. And it was just like every month, every 3 weeks, I just had a kind of a standing 1-hour consultation with her. And I paid her and she taught me because she shortcutted it for me. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't understand how to use the supplements and how to make the change in the follicular and the luteal phase and what happens with the FSH and the LH and all that. Years later, she said to me, back when you would call me, she said, I was on the phone learning it myself and I was only about 3 steps ahead of you. But we kind of learned it together. And it was fine because she helped me. She helped me understand. And I would ask questions and she'd say, I don't know, I'm going to find out. And so we kind of learned it together. But I wish that more practitioners knew the value of being together in a community, like being together, having a study buddy, having a once a month where you bring your cases and you just flush them out together. You learn so much faster that way than just staying in your head. So I wish that if I had to do it over again, I would have done that collaboration work. I would have done that sooner. And I wouldn't have given my services away because I did that plenty. People in the church, people, friends. I wouldn't have done it. I just wouldn't have done it. Now my confidence is so much better, but I just wouldn't have done it. And the other thing I wouldn't do is, and I think it's true for everybody, is don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself. I just said in a pod call in CBA the other day, I said, somebody wishes they were where you are. One wishes that they had a practice like you have, but you're looking out going, I'm not making as much money as that person, or I'm not doing it like that, or I wish that I had that, or wish that, no. Somebody wishes that they had what you have. So be grateful for what you have and then keep growing, keep doing your thing, keep moving the ball down the field, get your list of things and stay on top of the list and keep moving it down the field. That's one thing. I am an achiever. It's my number one strength. And so I'm like a dog on a bone. If I don't have a bone to chew, I don't have something to chase, I don't have something to do, I'm not happy. I need something to do. I'm an achiever. I've got to go, 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 go. I'm just wired that way. And so that part was never an issue for me. The problem is that I didn't build enough of a community around me from the beginning. I did a lot of it by myself and I would have learned a lot faster. So big picture, don't try and do it on your own. Get testimonials and reviews, network with people, find people that are like you, that you can really love being with, that you can hang out with, that you can feel comfortable with, and you can grow together. You don't start with your offer. You have to know who you serve first, because otherwise, what are you going to offer someone? Like the guy I was talking to, is a $3,500 offer. I said, well, who is this for? And he said, well, anyone. I said, well, that's why, because what problem are you solving? Now, if I had a woman who had, I don't know, PMS really bad, and she's like out of work and her husband's ready to divorce her and her kids don't like, I mean, it's the family's falling apart because mom's falling apart. I don't know. I probably could charge $1,800 to get somebody out of trouble because I can do that really easily. Like, that part's not hard, but she's got pain and I have a solution. You can't just come at someone with just like, oh, well, here's what I do. You have to tie it to a pain. And even more so now, I think people are so much more motivated by they want a transformation and they're motivated by pain. If we're not in pain, it's like pain or pleasure, right? Those are the two key motivators. We either move because we're in pain, I'm moving away from something hot, or I'm moving towards something that I enjoy. So we want to create a little bit of pain for them. I think I would have done a better job of that in the beginning. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Those are my musings, and my attitude's fine. Thank you very much. If you were worried, can you tell I'm fine? I am fine. But boy, I was kind of grumpy a little bit ago. I hope this podcast turns out. If you're listening to it, you will know it's fine. It all is perfectly fine. So that's it, friends. I love hanging out with you. I tell you this all the time. Listen, if you'd like to join me inside Clinical Business Academy, I would love to have you. It is a business coaching program for wellness practitioners that's unlike anything else out there, because I am here to help you make your practice your way. I'm not going to put you in a box. I'm not going to make you do it a certain way. We're not going to say, it's a marvelous Monday at ABC Chiropractic. How can I help you? We're not doing any of that baloney. It's your practice your way, and I'm here to help you get there. So if you'd love to chat with me, I would be more than happy to do that. We can schedule a practice strategy call. All you have to do is go to rhondanelson.com/CBA. Stands for Clinical Business Academy. I hope to talk to you soon. See you next week.